Hello, Leo. Amanda here. Welcome to Unseen Hands Healing. This is going to be your June shift reading. So we are looking at the shape you're shifting out of in June, the shape you're shifting into, and what that shape shift looks and feels like for you. So before we get into cards, I want to talk a little about the image that came as I was asking for an image that you can work with this month. And I gotta warn you, it's a little gross. It has to do with fingernails, and like nails and teeth are pretty gross. So just a warning. I got the image of fungus growing underneath of a nail and beginning to lift it up, separate it from the base so that it will fall off. I know, it's gross. Sorry, that's what came. So that it will fall off and a new nail will grow. The important part being this thing bubbling up from beneath the surface that is uncomfortable, that is perhaps nasty. Okay, a fungus is pretty nasty. This thing growing underneath the surface that is it's almost like it's lifting you or a part of your life or a part of your foundation, because I specifically saw this as a toenail, and to me, like, feet represent the ground you stand on, your foundation. So it's like lifting up a part of that ground for you, and that process of it lifting up and out because of something gross like a fungus is very uncomfortable. It's hard to look at, it's difficult to deal with, it hurts. But it is a necessary process. It is your body's way of dealing with this thing so that it can heal. It like needs to air out and heal and like clear out so that something new can grow. And I imagine that this new thing that grows, it's like, if you've ever had a nail fungus, you know that like when that stuff regrows, when your new nail grows, it's rarely ever the same. Like sometimes it will change your nail forever, you know? So this could be some sort of profound experience that you are having this month that like you'll never quite be the same from. And maybe it's not just happening this month, as a fungus takes time to grow. So maybe the things you've been experiencing, I mean, maybe this is talking about COVID, you know, like the things that have been coming up to the surface, coming up from underneath, have been revealed by like the lifting of the nail in this period of the pandemic, perhaps are revealing things to you that are going to change you in such profound ways that like the life as you know it, or your own foundation, or the things you stand on, will never quite be the same. But there is promise of regrowth and regeneration. Even if you end up growing a new nail with like a little dip in it, a little dent in it. It's like a scar, you know, but healing is here. Okay, weird image. Let's go to the Spolia Tarot and see what's coming through for you in June. Leo, what is the shape that Leo is shifting out of in the month of June? Interesting. Queen of Swords. As the shape you are shifting out of. This also slipped out, the Nine of Cups, and I'm going to keep it because I just heard something that is a blockage to your pleasure. Keeping yourself from enjoyment, keeping yourself from pleasure. And I can't help but see this Queen of Swords as like a little bit talking about COVID because of the face covering. It's like you can't not see that in a reading now and address the fact that our new reality involves face coverings and face masks for those of us that have not had that as part of our reality previously. So the boundary, this could be talking about the boundaries, the firm, because Queen of Swords talk about boundaries, the firm boundaries that have been in place, perhaps because of this pandemic, that have been keeping you from enjoying your life, like enjoying the sensual, pleasurable experiences of being alive. Interesting. I'm not going to say any more until we get more cards. What is the shape that Leo is shifting into in the month of June? Two of Swords, and it came out reversed. Oh yeah, and I forgot. I'm remembering now because of these swords. Not only did I see the nasty image of the nail, but I also, because I was like, oh, this image is so gross, can I have another one? But it became very clear I needed to share the nail fungus image. Blah. But there was another image of a babbling brook, which is now speaking to me of this Nine of Cups energy, this like energy of exuberance and pleasure and enjoyment. But I kept seeing like a freeze ray freezing it over, you know, like icing it over, like being like, no, no moving, no enjoyment, no babbling, bubbling up, freeze it over. And it's like it felt like you were the one that was like, don't enjoy your life. I'm saying that now because the Nine of Cups is here. It's like, maybe there's some like desire for feeling pleasures again, starting to bubble up in you because pandemic fatigue is real, you know? Shelter in place fatigue is real. And that's starting to come up again. And then like you ice it every single time. You're like, nope. But I kept seeing that it's not going to stick. Like trying to maintain a firm sheen of ice, this like barrier over the surface, is not going to stay because it's spring. It is spring. It's too warm for that ice layer that you're trying to keep over everything to stay. It is going to crack. You can't ice over this. You know, it's like, here you are, and then this starts bubbling up in your life or around you, this like embodiment of pleasure for you and something that you desire, something that you want. And then you keep going, no, I'm not allowed to have that. Right? This is talking about some rigidity. This is talking about some like really intense boundaries. And maybe this is talking about COVID. Maybe this is talking about you being like, man, I really want to take a walk outside. No, I'm not allowed to leave the house. No, you know, like that kind of thing. Or maybe this is like something in your life that you really, really desire and really love and that makes you feel so good. But for whatever reason, you're like, block you out, not allowed. I don't know. This reading's going rogue. We're going free form here. Let's see what else wants to come out about this for Leo in June. Ten of Cups in reverse. You're denying yourself the pleasures that are trying to come to you, the joy that's trying to come to you, the like miracle, the respite, the enjoyment that you asked for wants to come in, and it's like your hands have to be open to receive it. You can't be blocking it with the swords. One more. Nine of Cups and Ten of Cups. Something really beautiful. Really, really heartwarming. So pleasurable. So satisfying. Like absolutely the emotional manna from heaven that you, I think, really need. Oops, 2 cards. Ooh. This card has been coming out for so many folks. This is all about fire, Leo. Taking action. This person is flying through the air against obstacles. This person is the Emperor, is standing in a position of authority and power, is the person that stands up and says, I'm going to take action. I am decisive. It is time to act. Take the lead. And honestly, it seems like you're scared. And which is why like you're blocking your pleasure here. You're blocking what the emotional fulfillment that's trying to come in for you. Like the Ten of Cups is what the person in the Nine of Cups is wishing for and desiring for, and then here it comes. It's available, like I'm getting pleasure is available to you right now. Right now in this moment, right now. But I think you're afraid. Maybe because of COVID, or maybe this is much larger than COVID. And so you're blocking it because you're concerned. You know, the Queen of Swords is someone that wants to have discernment, is someone that has clear vision and wants to have clear vision, wants to be clear-sighted, wants to be discerning and smart about this, whatever this is. But I think that's keeping you stuck in a way that maybe you don't have to be. Like maybe this is talking about keeping yourself, like putting up a barrier that in such an extreme way that is completely preventing you from tapping into your power and taking any kind of action at all. And the cards here seem to be like, melt some of this, because again, the ice thing, and like trying to cover up, sorry about the nail thing again, but like trying to cover that up, it's going to continue to rear up. Like you can't really control when something is happening to your nail like that, like your body like that. It's just it's gonna uproot itself and regrow. Like there isn't much you can do about that other than let it happen. So there's something about like release the gates, like release the intense wall, maybe. And that doesn't mean suddenly you're like going outside without a mask and partying with all your friends and putting yourself in jeopardy. For the love of God, that is not what I'm talking about in this reading. Okay, but what I am talking about is like there is something, you are holding yourself back from an enjoyable experience of life. There's a rigidity here that doesn't quite need to be this intense. There's an energy here that wants you to be able to move forward and take some action. And like also there's sort of a standing in your confidence or standing up for yourself vibe happening here in this fire energy. Being willing to fight your way forward if necessary in order to do what's right for you. To move towards your happiness. Leo, what a reading. Okay. I'm going to do another pull. This is from the Next World Tarot. Here's the thing. We're in eclipse season. Okay. Actually, sorry, I want to show this to you before we go into this. This is how the cards ended up wanting to lay. Queen of Swords and Two of Swords as these like bookends to the reading, sort of like barriers coming in and being like, no. They're even the same color palette, which is interesting. And then these cards wanting to be laid like this in the middle. In between the barriers is this whole experience bubbling up. Desiring, feeling your desire begin to awaken for like pleasurable experiences, connection, like all of the things that bring emotional satisfaction. Letting your power rise up inside of you to be able to then take action towards the pleasure that's available to you right now. And the things you desire that will bring you satisfaction. That will bring you, and really it's the Ten of Cups. I mean, this is like an extreme way of putting it, but like the things that will bring you true happiness. That could be true for some of you. Self-imposed limitations here that are perhaps no longer necessary. And again, I'm not talking about jeopardizing your personal safety or your health. Okay, I'm going to shuffle the Next World Tarot and talk to you about eclipses. We've got 2 eclipses coming up this month. We are in eclipse season here. So in the beginning of June, we have a lunar eclipse, a full moon eclipse in Sagittarius. Towards the end of June, we have a solar eclipse, a new moon eclipse in Cancer. And for those of you who follow my work on Patreon, you know I post weekly about the moon stories, the moon phase that we are in. And I like to use Sabian symbols as part of that astrology. Sabian symbols were channeled by a medium in the 1920s who channeled an image for each degree of the zodiac. And they're a fun tool to use to supplement with astrology and tarot. So the Sabian symbols for the first eclipse, the full moon eclipse in Sagittarius, is seagulls watching a ship. So there's this energy of watching and waiting to see what's going to happen or to see how you can make a move. And then the Sabian symbol for the second eclipse, the solar eclipse in Cancer, is a ship, again, another ship, lowering an old flag in order to raise a new one. So there's this idea of like watching and waiting for the paradigm shift. Watching and waiting for the old flag. To me is like leadership. It's like the emblem of our philosophy, our collective philosophy, or your personal philosophy, your personal flag, your personal identity, whatever this is. There's an old one that's being lowered and a new one being raised here with these eclipses. It's exciting. And I'm going to pull a card for you to see what that's all about. Okay, so what are these eclipses in June saying to Leo? Ten of Swords. Putting an end to a painful experience. Queen of Pentacles in favor of home, sanctuary, a true sense of nurturance. This like true nurturer has been coming through your readings for months, maybe even almost a year at this point. The Ten of Swords talks about painful situations, situations that bring you mental struggle, mental pain, a very uncomfortable experience that need to, like nail fungus, okay, sorry, but it's what came through, that need to come to an end. The babbling brook is ready to bubble up. It's ready, it's here for you. Like, it's time for this. It's time to enjoy life safely, safely, safely. Like, I'm just gonna say it 1,000 times because I'm not recommending you go hog wild and jeopardize your freaking safety. That's not what I'm saying. But pleasure is here. Pleasure is bubbling up, whether you try to ice it over or not. It's here. It's like trade a painful situation for a safer situation, a nurturing situation. Okay. We're going to dig in. Yeah, I'm just seeing this as like the environment needed for you to grow and blossom. Maybe the person, since I've been seeing this Queen of Pentacles for you as like the true nurturer in your life, or the energy of true nurturance in your life. You know, whether this is an energy inside of you that needs to come to the forefront, or maybe this is a person in your life. It's like, if you insist on keeping this kind of painful experience around, that's not taking care of yourself. And that's not allowing the people in your life who love you to take care of you either. So it's like, you have to be willing to let go of this kind of pain. Speaking to me in the Gemini reading, actually, it came through a little differently, but it's similar. Even the Queen of Swords came through. Let that go. Let that pain. You don't have to experience life this way. You don't. Release any attachment to experiencing this kind of suffering. And move towards what it really means to nurture yourself and others and be nurtured by others. And what it really means to create sanctuary. What it really means to be in a safe, loving space where you can grow. Whether you are creating that for yourself or someone else is in your life helping you to create that. Okay, Leo, I'm taking it into the extended. So this is just the first half of your reading. I'm now going to use other decks to clarify this energy and see what we can really dig into to see what this June reading is all about for you. So if you'd like to view that, stick around. At the end of your reading, there will be a little preview of the extended to see what it gets into. If it continues to resonate with you and you'd like to view it, click the link in the description box below this video and that will take you over to Patreon. Patreon is a community online that I've created for folks who are enjoying my work and want to dive deeper. That sounds like you. Head on over there, meet me over there. Please read the description so you know how Patreon works, and then I will send you the extended reading for June. All right, Leo, take care. I'll talk to you soon. There's a million ways you can talk yourself into pain. Whoa. Okay. Whew. That hit. You know? There's a million ways you can talk yourself into pain. The devil in reverse, and look at the full moon, eclipse energy. The devil is here to actually help you see the ways that you have talked yourself into pain and free you from that. And what's interesting is in this card in particular of the devil, we see the Ace of Wands here, wands being fire, held down. It's like the devil is holding the wand upside down, almost like stubbing out the flame. If you reverse this, the flame is free. And look at this. Emperor, 7 of Wands, fire energy, free to act. When you are in this energy, you do not have access to your fire.